Hello there, floralpreneurs. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to just make sure that you can see me coming up over on the YouTube. If you can, feel free to say hello and let me know you're here. Hey, I see a comment. Looking forward to talking about reels, a big struggle for me. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to dive right in because I know most people are going to be tuning in on a replay anyway. Also know there's a little bit of a delay. So when I say, hey, let me know you're here, sometimes it takes a minute or two for me to actually hear your reply. So I'm going to dive right in. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Alison Ellis. I am a floral designer. I am a floral educator, and I am here today to talk about some things that are really on our minds, our hearts, things that are stressing us out a little bit. Sales, and also this need that we have to kind of like keep up with the Joneses, as they used to say, right? Keeping up with the reels. That's like the new version. Hey Jenny, thanks for tuning in. I see you there. So today what I really want to talk about is like the real fact that a lot of floral designers, but also just wedding professionals in general, are expressing that sales are a little bit slow. Sales are a little lower, a little on the scary side for some people. And so I want to talk about that. There was a comment in my Facebook group today that was like, why are you doing this chat? Like, is there a course or something? There's no sales pitch at the end of this thing. Okay. There's no like thing I'm taking you to, or you need to sign up today in the next 15 minutes. I am doing this chat because this is really something that's on a lot of people's minds, including myself, because I am a floral designer too. I don't just teach, I also have a floral design business, just like you. So my sales are down too. And I'm also feeling that pressure of we have to do more on the social media. And what's occurring to me, and again, the reason I'm inviting you here to talk about this today, is that these things are kind of sometimes diametrically opposed. What's going to increase your sales and what's going to increase your views are not always going to be in alignment. I want to use an example real quick. So first of all, I want to use an example, but I want to just say there is no sales pitch at the end of this. However, I've got all kinds of resources for you. If you need help with any aspect of the customer service, the sales, the booking process, the math, right? Any of it. So you can find my resources at realflowerbusiness.com, and you can always reach out to me anytime if you need one-on-one attention as well to deal with like a specific issue that you're going through. Okay. So there's always something, but there's no agenda here. Nothing I'm trying to talk you into today. What I want to talk about though is an example that I saw today. So I was gonna name the account because I was like, they're a big enough account. I'm gonna not name them, but I'll just say this. Yesterday was April Fool's Day. So today is April 2nd. I want to give a shout out to my friend Francoise Weeks and her new book, Wonder of the Woodlands. Today is the release day, so it's a big day on my calendar. So as I'm looking at my feed today, I wasn't online too much yesterday. And also because Instagram just serves you stuff late now, right? It used to serve you stuff right away. I'm seeing posts today from yesterday. So today's April 2nd. That means yesterday was April Fool's Day, right? So keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with the reels, people put out some joke posts, right? I saw one that was really funny. Adam Grant put one out. He published a book this year. And so he put out, someone said, I need to be more productive. And so next year I'm putting out 4 books, right? And they were 4 totally fake, phony titles. Really funny. You could see from the get-go, this was fake, okay? But then there are other people who are doing the, April Fools. And I saw an account that did like a wedding example. And people were like, this is AI. I can't believe, your reputation. I would expect more from you than something like this. I come here for real events. Okay. Woo. They missed the joke. right? But it's a really good example of why we want to be really intentional with what we're posting. Why did that account post this AI generated, triggery thing to its audience? Is it because it's April 1st and so you must post a joke today? You must try to fool your audience today. And so you have to do that. Or, was there some other reason? Is this in line with their brand, right? And that's the thing I want you always thinking about. So this question, looking forward to this talk and talking about reels, which are a big struggle. Part of why it's a struggle is because it feels really forced, because it is, right? And it feels really phony because we're not practiced at talking in our brand voice, right? We're still kind of talking like ourselves, or we're talking like somebody else that we thought was really cool. And so we're kind of doing our impression of them. All good, right? Some people, we do these things. We got to imitate before we innovate. We all start trying to be like somebody, right? Like you have to. Sort of like, even if you're trying to be like you're pulling in aspects of other people, right? But that's why these things feel like a struggle. First of all, because they're false metrics that we're being like sucked into. Like you have to post this many reels and post this many things a week and try to post this often and try to increase your engagement. But meanwhile, here we are without having the number of sales we're looking for. Okay. So I want to bring it back home to that. What are we focused on? When we are sharing a reel, when we are sharing any post, even when you are posting as your little, April Fool's joke, which maybe, it's just all good fun, right? It's not meant to be a bad branding move. But sometimes you only get one mistake, right? Sometimes somebody, they see that, they don't get that it's a joke. They go, this is fake and I don't trust you anymore. So we got to be really meaning that joke. It's got to be real important to make that joke, to take that risk. Okay. Now let's talk about sales. Sales are down for most people. If sales are down for you, you don't have to comment. You don't have to raise your hand and say so. But if your sales are down, you're not alone. And again, part of the reason I wanted to do this chat today is because people have been coming into like my Facebook group or even sending me messages and being like, oh, my sales are down, like, eek. And I'm like, I hear you, you're not alone, but that's not really helpful. I know it's nice to know you're not alone. Oh no, love, you're not alone. However, what can you really do about it? All right, so let's really talk about that. First, if your sales are down and you're not alone, what is the first thing that you should do? Panic is one of the things, right? Complain, worry. What if you put all those things aside and go, let me just get to the facts, ma'am, just the facts. So take a look at your sales from last year, maybe even the year before that. You could do a 2-year comparison if you want to, and compare them to your projections for this year. Because while we say sales are down, year's just getting going, okay? We are entering into the second quarter of the year. It's no joke, right? It's moving right along. Footloose and fancy free, moving right along. But what can you do between now and the end of the year to maybe capture some of that lost sale, right? How can you possibly create a path toward that? So it starts with identifying what's the deficit really. Because a lot of times what we do, and this is always what I'm trying to I don't know, like sound the alarms about. Don't let our feelings drive our decisions. Look, sometimes we need to we got to get in tune with our heart and our core values. Okay. That's one thing. But just being like sales are down, woe is me, right? Isn't as helpful as looking at real numbers. So I want you to first look at your real numbers. What are your sales projections for this year? Now, for some people who might not be super in the habit of doing that, here's the really easy way you're going to do it. Okay. All you need to do is add up your estimated sales for anything you already have booked. if you have subscriptions already purchased, if you have business accounts, if you have weddings, events that are already booked, add them up and let's see what that comes to. Here's one reason why, like in my proposals course that I teach, or my like steps to booking great clients when I'm teaching those courses, I always want you to put a minimum on your quote so that the client knows what they need to purchase in order to work with you. And that is great from like the contract standpoint too, right? There's a meeting of the minds. We know we're going to meet this minimum. But the real reason that it is helpful to you is in a situation like this, you know the minimum purchase that each client is going to make because you've agreed to it. So while I might have a quote that has a range of like, maybe it has a minimum of $5,000 for their event, but they have a couple of add-on things that they might choose, and that could go up another $1,000, right? I might make $6,000 or I might make a $5,000 sale, but I know the minimum is going to be $5,000. So now I can start to track, what does it look like? What do the total sales look like for this year? And then what's the deficit? So again, you do not have to be a mathematician, a great accountant, the best bookkeeper to do this, okay? Add up your events, add up the sales that you're counting on for the year. Take a look at that number. Now you can head to a website called like, you can figure out, there's like percentage calculators, right? You don't have to know how to like figure everything out anymore. Go to percentagecalculator.net, I think is what it is. And just, you can enter in the difference. What's the difference between the sales from last year and your projections this year? And it's going to tell you the percentage decrease. And then you'll know, are sales down 10%? Are they down 20%? Are they down 50%? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? All right. Look at that number. Because yes, we want to see what the actual dollar amount is, right? Is it $10,000? Is it $50,000? What are we trying to make up here? But we want to have real grasp of how much sales are down. Okay. Then it's just a matter of asking yourself, how do you make that up? Right? If your sales are down $10,000, what do you need to do to sell $10,000 more dollars worth of stuff this year? If your sales are down $50,000, what are you going to do to sell $50,000 more worth of stuff? Let's put a pin in that for a second. Because the other thing, right, the step 2 is, how can you reduce your expenses? So let's say you have a $50,000 deficit. Whoa, sales are down $50,000. What are we going to do? Let's look at what we're spending. So how do we increase sales and also decrease the amount of money that's going out the door? Some people pay a lot of money for their software system every year, right? If you're spending $2,000 on software every year, that is adding up for you every year. Maybe it is your lifeline and it is totally worth it for you. Or maybe there's a cheaper way to accomplish the same goal. These are the things that you can evaluate when sales are a little bit slower. One thing that annoys me, may I tell you, can we interrupt this broadcast for an annoyance break? One thing that really annoys me is when people are like, well, sales are slow. It's an opportunity to, do your housekeeping and, clean the shop and do these things. That is all true. But it's no consolation to me. I'd rather have more sales than have like underneath my workbench cleaned up. Okay. I'm fine with it being messy as long as I have my sales. Okay. So while that is true, and that is in fact a factual thing that I can say to you, you can clean your shop, get organized, right? You can start to put some systems into place, things that you've been meaning to do for a while. And you should do those things, right? But it's not going to help you increase your sales. It's just going to like keep you busy on the back end. So thinking about how can you spend less, and then what do you need to do to actually sell more? Do you need a new offer? Is there something that you already sell that you just need like 2 more weddings and you're good? Those would be the things that I want you to be thinking about, because instead of just going, sales are down, oh no, or sales are down, so I'm just not going to pay myself, which is what way too many, way too many floral designers do. Shop owners going, I'm not going to pay myself. Well, my designers get paid, but I don't. We have to think of a better way. Okay. There has got to be another way. So get resourceful. One of the things that people are going to always be focused on right now is the social media. How do we get those reels to be seen? How do I get more followers? Right now, as I'm talking to you, would I rather that I get like 25 more followers on Instagram today or make one sale, right? Of my email templates or like one of my wedding templates or flower math, right? It's about like, what is the goal? What is the goal? Do you want to just have more people maybe getting fed your Instagram posts? Or do you want to actually make a sale? Because sometimes all you need to do is find one customer. This is what happens with social media. It's a gift and a curse. We already know, right? The amount of time, your screen time report. Oh, so shameful, right? So embarrassing. Here's your screen time report. But we've kind of fallen into a false sense of like accomplishment because Instagram's kind of tricking us. All right. I'm not going to lie. I've been tricked too. Congratulations. You've unlocked an accomplishment. Has Instagram ever told you that? You have unlocked an accomplishment. You have posted a reel and a carousel within 48 hours of each other. You are practically the queen of Instagram, right? Is basically what they want me to think. So that I will keep going back. They're trying to create an addictive behavior culture. By the way, worked, right? Working. But it's not working on your sales because your sales are down, right? So let's really think about this. Should you be trying to make the best reel you possibly can this week? Or should you be reaching out to one new person every day? So this is like the third step, basically, right? First, you're going to figure out what are your actual sales projections and how much are they down really? Then it's like, what do you need to actually sell to make it up? Or what expenses do you need to cut so that you can at least alleviate some of that lost profit, right? Because the sales, it's great to increase sales, but if you're spending too much, it don't matter, right? If you, oh, well, great, I've increased myself. I need to sell, I'm down $10,000. Oh, I just booked $10,000, but I just spent $12,000. That's not getting you where you want to go. So these things have to work in tandem, okay? And then finally, in real life, what can you do? Reach out to a real person every day. Is it better to make the most popular reel you have ever made this week? Or reach out to 3 or 5 new people, or maybe old people. Old people like me, right? Old people who've been in the industry 20 something years that you've had a relationship with. Maybe you haven't seen them in a while. Make a real connection. One real life connection can take you further than the best reel you've ever made. Okay? And that's why I wanted to bring you here to talk about this today, because it isn't about becoming the best social media person you can. I saw someone posting about this, saying, oh, you own a small business, you're your own social media manager. Like, this is so hard. And it's like, okay, true, right? Like, I'm not going to say it's easy managing the social media, but what's actually harder than that is managing yourself, right? Managing yourself to be focused on selling to real people instead of being the, reels, REEL, reels queen. Okay. I even saw someone who was like selling a course on how to do reels, and nowhere did they say how the sales increased. All it was views increased. Look at how many views. Look how many views. But none of the testimonials said, I booked a new client today, right? And maybe that's because it doesn't sound impressive to say I booked one new client today. But guess what? Guess what? Any one of us, anybody watching this, myself included, any one of us whose sales are down would be happy to book that one client, right? That is perfect. You're what I've been looking for. You, one client, are exactly who I have been waiting for and dreaming of my whole life, right? And that's where I want to end this conversation today, on that reminder that this isn't about screaming for attention. I know we've been tricked to think it is, but it's not. It's not about who can have the most watched reels, right? My most watched reel is like a free tip I gave about hanging flowers from like a chandelier in a dining room I did. It's an amazing tip. It's not going to make me any money, right? So I'm not sharing it to make money. I'm sharing it to be generous and share my knowledge, to position myself as an expert. People go, oh, what a great tip that is, right? It's gotten lots of views. That's great. Has it paid my bills? Is it paying my light bill from my Diva ring light over here? No, right? That reel is not paying for this light. So that's where you have to always be focused on, why are we doing this? Because if I wanted that reel to start paying my electric bill, right, I'd be pretty disappointed right now. I'd be pretty let down. Focus on real people. Focus on what it is that makes you special. And also focus on what makes your customers special and why you're the best fit for them. Because, posting, haha, April Fool's jokes that then people are like, huh. Even somebody yesterday, again, I didn't see the post until today because it's still in their stories, but it was like, this job is too hard. I'm giving up. I am no longer doing flowers. This will be my last delivery. And then it was like April Fool's at the bottom, right? And I get it. Like we're trying to show up, right? We're trying to show up. But if I didn't actually read that entire post and I'm one of your customers, I might be thinking, you're closing up your shop, girl. Like, let's be serious. Let's be real careful. Do I want even one person to think I'm closing my shop because I'm making an Instagram post for April Fool's Day? I do not. In fact, people say, like, you don't want to put energy out into the world that you don't mean. I don't even ever want to pretend I'm closing my business, right? Back to the woo. You come here for the practical stuff and then I go to the woo, but it's true. I'm not looking to put out there, hey, it's our last day of the shop, right? I'm not looking to foreshadow some event, all right? Always keep in mind what it is why you started this, right? Why you started your business and why you do this. And it's not to hint, you did not start your business to post every day something entertaining or behind the scenes or educational or snarky or lip syncy. That's not why you started your business. And so even though those things matter, right? I'm not here to tell you you never need to make a reel and you never need to show up there. But like, I didn't post on April Fool's Day. I didn't post in my Facebook group, I'm closing this group. It's the last day of this group. I've had it up to here with people asking for pricing advice. No, because that's not funny to me. Because I don't mean it and it's not funny to me, right? So that's why I really want you to keep in mind, like, when you know your why, you really know why you're doing this. And you really are grounded in reality. And you're really focused on what matters, which is creating beautiful work, making your customers happy over and over and over again, paying yourself fairly, right? When you're focused on the things that actually keep your business healthy and flourishing and that keep you healthy and flourishing, then you're doing good work. And it's hard to stay focused on that. So if you're like, she's calling me out, I've been on Instagram all week and I haven't made any sales and I haven't, I'm not calling you out. You're totally we're in the stream, right? We're in the soup. We're all in the social media soup. And it takes a lot of, frankly, practice. It takes a lot of practice to know what your brand really, really, really wants to say and how you really want to show up. and also where your customers are. Because while people can say, "Oh, Instagram's been great for my business." Here's a thought that I had today. Because there are plenty of people who will say that, right? Instagram's been great for my business. First of all, for the people it's been the best for are the people who are selling to you. The people who are selling you courses that you are buying. People who are selling you resources and workshops and those things. Those are the people who are having the success, because B2B, social media was meant to be, baby. We want to be sold to, right? Some of the people I follow I want to be, I'm like, ooh, give me that sales pitch. I want to hear it. Okay. But for the most part, what we're really looking to do is make a connection, show up in a way that's authentic, and stand out, not blend in. Social media is meant to blend in. When everybody has, right? I was watching stories the other day. Here's a little, story about, I don't even know, right? Because this is it. It's in and out. I don't remember. It's in and out, right? But I'm watching this little story and there's a song that's going with it, right? Then next person's story comes up, same exact song, right? I'm not telling you anything that's earth-shattering, right? You know what I'm talking about. But like, how is that branding? How is it branding that I'm watching one person's reel and I'm hearing the song, and then it goes to the next person, same exact song? Not stand out, not special. In fact, I am proving it to you because I don't remember either one of those reels. I don't remember who they were. I think one of them was like a dress shot maybe. I don't even know. Okay. Because it's not memorable. It's not special. It's just in the algorithm. They got my view and it's over. That's not what your goal is. It's not my goal, not your goal. Okay. So here's your permission to not post on Reels today. But do connect with a real person, a real human. Send them a message. Pick up a phone and call somebody. Hey, I just wanted to say hi. I haven't talked to you in a while. Want to make sure you know, we have some dates available. Would love to work with you. How are things going with you? How are things going with you, right? That's the thing we forget. How are things going with you? Instead of just, what can you do for me? How are you? Okay. I'm going to end it there because I could just go on for another half an hour about how important it is to not only be selfish and thinking about ourselves when we are making these one-to-one connections, but I really hope this helps you think. Because again, when somebody says their sales are down and I'm like, I feel you, I get that that's not the most helpful thing. So I really wanted to come up with something that is a bit more helpful in terms of just the way you can be thinking about this. I'm not telling you have to be happy that sales are down. Look on the bright side. There will be no cobwebs in your windows, right? However, that can be true. You can have your cleanest studio yet and also find ways to make some connections and make some real action. Sitting alone, isolated, feeling worried is not the best space to be in. Okay. So don't do that. And if you need help, let me know. Realflowerbusiness.com is where you will find me and all of my stuff. If you want to get in touch about coaching, if you want to get in touch about absolutely anything, I appreciate hearing from you. And yes, thanks for that. Yeah, don't put that energy out there, Sarah says. Don't put the energy out there. We want to make sure we're only putting out there what we mean, right? Say what we mean what we say, deliver what we promise. That's how we build a good brand. I don't care if you have a viral reel if you don't have sales. And that, by the way, you know this, right? You've heard this. These people, these Instagram famous, right, influencers have no money from the influence, right? They're not actually monetizing. So even people who are super successful with views aren't making sales. So that's why let's just back it out, right? Let's do it. Let's back it out and focus on what matters. Sarah says, you're always so selfless out. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing your positive energy with everyone. I'm sending an email tomorrow. I love it. And she's sending it tomorrow because she's across the pond and it's evening already. Everybody else, if you're here on the East Coast, it's still noon, right? It's still 12:30. You can send an email today And if you're over there, like Carissa, I see you, you're over there on the West Coast, it's morning. You got all day. We can still make some connections. Okay. So thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Keep doing beautiful work and keep focused on what makes you special because you are. Okay. Keep moving forward, keep making sales. And I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.